To upgrade my gadget. So this is a video on how to replace some V-clamp brakes on your mountain bike, hybrid bike, or any standard bike that has this kind of design. So before we go into it, it's probably worthwhile explaining what these brakes do. So what you've got is the brake pads here on both sides, as you can see, and this is what's called the V-clamp, and basically the brake pad sits on the rim of the wheel here, and you've got this wire coming down which goes all the way to your brake levers at the front, and when you pull, the wire pulls on that, and then in essence those brake pads squeeze together. Now after a while what you'll find is those brake pads here, they will start to wear, and you'll get sometimes a metallic grinding sound, otherwise you'll very quickly find that the brake lever will go all the way to the bar. Now what you can do if you find that your brake pads don't need replacing is, so if I show you on the back, it should be easier the way I'm holding it, keep spinning this black piece out, don't go too far, you don't want to go too far because what happens is that will eventually pop out, and then spin that little black piece back, and all you're doing is you're pulling that metal black bit, this metal piece out, and then that should give you a bit more, and actually you can already feel that. But in this case what I've got to do is replace the brake pads because they're properly warm. Now you want to take the brake pads off, so this nut here, put an Allen key into there, and what that does, that's the retaining piece for the metal wire. So take a note of how it fits in, and then undo that. Okay, so if I just do that now, and I'm doing this with a standard bike set of Allen keys or tool kit, and if you look on the links there's an example there. Now what will eventually happen is, if I keep going and I just show you, so this is the wire here, take that out and it will eventually spring apart. See how that happened, and the wire is now no longer clamped in, and that allows you to get in to where the brake pads are. So all you do, and I won't go through it and show you, but you just, with the same tool, undo the brake pads on both sides. Okay, and what you'll find is that you'll have the brake pads completely out, and you might even see in this one you've got like a, you can't really see it there, but there's like a metal shard that's going through it. So what happens is, you put it, there's normally a slot here, and then that would go in there, and then the other side is where you would bolt up. So I won't show you how to fully do it, but you get the idea of being able to put the two new brake pads in place. And what you need to check, and I'll show you on these ones, and the links are in the video, you want to check the direction of the wheel, so as the bike goes forward, and what side, so the arrow indicates the way the wheel goes around, and even in this case they put a handy R on it. So for this one it goes on this side. So now here what you've got, if I can try and show you, yeah, so you've got a series of washers. You'll find that there's two that are looking like they've got a bit of a kind of egg cup shape round to them. You need to split, and the black bar goes in the middle. So I'll do that and I'll show you. The brake pad fitted in, and you can see either side. I don't know why you've got all these washers, but all I do know is you put the big one and then the next one in. And then what you're trying to do is, before you tighten it up, is you want to push the brake in like this, and you want to just try and get it, I can't do it very easily with one hand, but you're trying to get it so that the brake pad is touching only the metal bit. You don't want it to touch the rubber of the bike, and you definitely don't want it to be touching down here. You just want it to be touching on there, and the more you play with it, eventually you'll get it to a point where you push the brake in. Imagine that your brake is going in on both sides, and that's where you want it to grip. Okay, so as you can see in this case I'm too low, I need to bring that up, so let me change that and I'll show you where it ends up. There you go. And when you torque this up, when you tighten this up, be careful, because you don't want this to be turning too much. You'll get a feel for it, so hold this while you're tightening this up. It's much easier if you're pushing that against the rim when you're trying to find its place. Okay, where I want them to be. And what you'll then find is this wire has probably become loose. which is the brake wire. So now you put that little housing inside there. So there you go. So that sits in the housing like so. Okay. And then in the same way that the wire lay last time, you put that into here. Okay. Now the trick is, before you do that, what you want to do is you want to hold these together. You want to put the wire somewhere in location there, and then you want to loosely tighten that wire into place. But before you do that, you want to completely unwind the brake lever on this side, the silver. So I'll show you. Place brake pad where I want it. Now you go back to your brake lever and you roll that way in, and what that's doing in essence is hopefully giving you enough clearance. And this won't be the final bit, so if you, and I find I do this all the time, so you screw that in as much as you possibly can and then come back to the brake, and what you want to do, I couldn't do it one-handed, but you loosen that off, pull that wire slightly through, and what that means is that the wheel can now spin. But you just want to check, and this is where you lift the wheel off, you just want to try the brake lever just to check how far down it comes. Okay, that's it. Okay, hope that's helped someone.